Good evening and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin, and I am the Dream Decipherer, and I help you to crack the code of your sleep and dreams so you can sleep sound and dream deep. This evening, this dream features um, adventurous little girls and sassy mothers. So let's find out what's the story is and what it all means for the dreamer. The dreamer reports that she was with her two of her children, the two in the middle, and that they were going someplace. The destination isn't specified. The one of the daughters or one of the children had her suitcase, and while the rest of the family had their things already in the car. The when they drove to their destination, and when they got out of the car, they found that they couldn't go any further because there was a body of water, a big sea. And the daughter said to the dreamer that we can do this, we can go through this. Let's just do it. But before the dreamer could even respond to the daughter, the mother suddenly appeared out of nowhere, dressed to kill, apparently. And she was happy, waving up this piece of paper in front of the dreamer's face, but she couldn't read it. The dreamer wasn't very happy. She was worried about how she was going to get across to the other side of this body of water. And while she's thinking about all of this, the mother suddenly goes off. She just disappears. She doesn't say a word. She just leaves. And the dream ends there. So, what exactly is going on? There may be a few things going on here, but the first thing that I need to say is that the people in our dreams do not always represent themselves. They can do, but they usually represent some aspect of the dreamer, his or herself. So let's start with the children. There's two little kids, two middle kids, one of which both of which are girls. And my first question was, well, how many children are there in total? And why were these two children, these two middle children, significant? One of the children, a girl, has a suitcase. What is that suitcase about? Why is her suitcase not packed with the other suitcases that are already in the car? But if you look at that again, the unconscious mind will use metaphor and all kinds of stratagems to get our attention. And perhaps looking at this daughter's suitcase can be looked at in a slightly different way, in that she is carrying baggage, carrying stuff around as we do. And I would put to the dreamer, is it perhaps that this daughter represents some unacknowledged, unknown part of the dreamer, and therefore is acting as the role of the shadow of the dreamer, the unknown or unacknowledged parts of herself. And if looking at it at the daughter in that sense, what about the daughter resonates for the dreamer? Then you've got the car. Not only if you've got this luggage and baggage that the daughter has, but there's also the stuff that's loaded up in the car ready to go. Now, as I've said in the past, there are generally vehicles in dreams will represent a person's journey through life, sometimes faster, sometimes slower, sometimes at a dead stop. But my question here, if we're looking at the dreamer's drive or journey through life, was the dreamer actually driving the car? Because sometimes we can we can be the one in the driver's seat, or someone else can be. And it's important to know who's actually doing the driving, because it represents self agency. That if you're in the driver's seat, literally, or in the dream, or in a dream, you're the one that's in charge and in control. The family gets to a certain point in their journey and they have to stop because there's this huge body of water, a sea, that is blocking their path forward. Now, the sea can represent all kinds of things, but in often in terms of psychology and the mind, the sea represents our emotions. They come and go in waves, and they can swamp you. So the sea is used as often as a symbol or metaphor for the unconscious mind, the things that are underneath the surface. Now, if you look at the sea in that context, that there is some perhaps unknown um, blockage, or something that is standing in the way of the dreamer continuing on their journey to get to the other side of this sea. But the daughter, on the other hand, she's like, let's go for it, we can do this. She's expressing a more of a daring sense, or a sense of adventure. And then what what does that how does that resonate for the dreamer? My question here is there some part of the dreamer that wants to move forward, or wants to plunge into this adventure, but is holding back for some reason? Something is preventing them from moving forward. Then we have the mother, who, like a genie almost, appears, and dressed to kill, apparently. And my first question is, well, what was she wearing? Where was she going? Why was she dressed up like this? And this piece of paper that she was waving around in front of and under the dreamer's nose, which the dreamer couldn't read, and it just kind of frustrated her. Why is this woman waving this piece of paper in front of me, but won't tell me anything, and won't let me read it? But we'll look at that again in a little bit. What was preoccupying the dreamer was that she wanted to get to the other side, and the pool of water was like her Achilles heel, if you will. It was blocking her way. But she couldn't figure out how to do it, and it was making her frustrated. Then as suddenly as she appeared, the mother disappears with this note, that the dreamer couldn't read, and no explanation. She just appeared and she was gone. But she was jubilant. Whatever it was that was on this piece of paper, it was making her jubilant. She was jumping up and down. Now, my questions here was, is there somewhere in the dreamer's life where perhaps words are not being spoken, or need to be spoken, perhaps? Um, it's interesting that the dreamer was not able to see what was written on this piece of paper. And I put to the dreamer, maybe it wasn't for the figure of the mother to deliver the news, as it were. Perhaps it's for the dreamer herself to put what needs to be on that piece of paper. Who knows? So something to think about. Now, the mother, of course, once again, may or may not actually represent herself, but represents some aspect of the dreamer herself. So I would ask, what is it about when the thought of mother is evoked, or their mother is evoked, what that brings up, or what resonates with the dreamer in that context? There's also, again, using metaphors, I would ask the dreamer here, where in the dreamer's life do they feel like they have an ocean to cross, or mountain to climb. And we use expressions like that all the time to express a particular state of mind or feeling. And I would ask again, where is there an does there feel like there's an ocean to be crossed to get to the other somewhere else? Now, coming back to the daughter and the mother, would ask the dreamer perhaps to consider whether the daughter and the mother represents younger and more mature aspects of the dreamer. Again, they are come from the dreamer, and they're ultimately about the dreamer. So, what could they represent some period of time in the dreamer's life? And the other thing about this mysterious piece of paper, why did the dreamer think that this piece of paper was important? Did it seem to be something that was, well, apparently good news, since mom was dancing around, but was it about a legal matter? Was it a personal matter? Was it about communication with family member, maybe the mother herself? What was important about that piece of paper? Now, again, breaking with the traditional ways of doing this, I give you a little bit of background to fill out the story a little bit. Having had a conversation with the dreamer about the dream. Now, it's not just about inspired guesses or intuition. There's also some homework that I need to do. Sometimes, well, one thing that needs to happen is to get the context. What is actually going on in the person's life at a particular moment? Are there particular emotions that are coming out, or is there particular situations that are particularly troublesome or worrying? So there's a bit of investigation or the detective work to be done around the dreamer, him or herself. But there's also, you know, having access to things like mythology, religious texts, finding out the person's family background, the family history. And in this case, it was pertinent because the dreamer is from originally from East Africa, and as in many parts of Africa and many other places around the world, twins have a very special status. Whether good or bad is depends on the culture, but twins will often have a very um, different status, or an elevated status, or not. And what was important about this, that there was these two little girls in this dream. What having chatted with the dreamer, we found that the dreamer was actually a twin, and that the twin died when they were babies. So this twin and it maybe in an energetic sense still very much a part of the dreamer, even though she was a baby and couldn't probably, except for the physical presence of her twin, didn't realize that her twin was no longer there, or felt that emptiness of the twin not being there. And it's for the dreamer, it was important for her to recognize that there was a part of her that was not there, still present in some way, but not physically present. But this twin, or in this case, the little girl in the dream, was urging the dreamer to dive into that water, to take the plunge, and take join in the adventure, to get to the other side. And that was a significant fact that came up during this consultation with the dreamer, because put it actually created a snapshot for her. It reached into the past, but it was showing her what was keeping her from moving forward like she wanted to do for the future. And after talking through this and looking at the different areas of her life where these things, different aspects were kind of appearing and being presented in this dream, the dreamer made some very important breakthroughs, not only on a personal level, but on a professional level as well, and found that the direction that she was intending to head into and change and make changes in her life was actually the right way to go. And the dream was showing her that. But, fear was making her hesitate. You know, it's great over there, it's wonderful over there, but I'm afraid to get there. I don't know how to get there. And what the dreamer in the end took away from all of this was that she was giving into the fear instead of in a sense, keeping her eyes on the prize and not worrying about the means so much to get there, or letting the brain take over the process completely, because she realized that it was not only her mind that needed to be engaged, but her heart. So there you have it. Another dream, and with twins on all kinds of levels, and sassy mothers who encouraged the dreamer to write her own message on that piece of paper that will make her dance and celebrate. If you have a dream that you'd like to get help with, or just would like some tips on how to approach your dream, give me a call, contact me. The consultation is free, and you may actually learn something really important for yourself. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a great evening and rest of the week, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.